Hi, my name is Austin Harris, and I'm doing my 8th Creativity Journal log for this project. Today, I'm going to be talking about this week's journal, and this week we talked about processes, principles, and tools to create, innovate, and design. We focused on success, depending on what you do and how you do it. We focused on different phases uh, of I, coming up with processes and ideas and being successful with those. In phase one, we started with the understanding, and that is the first step. And an example of that would be the market, client, technology, or constraints that come with this first phase. Number two would be observing, and the examples for that would be real people, what is liked, what is hated, what is confused, and inexperienced. And that is the first phase. Phase two, we talk about synthesizing, which is an example. For an example for that would be organizing design themes for phase one work. And then the following step after that would be visualizing. An example for that would be transforming ideas and themes into elements. How does solution solve problems? Role play, storyboards, CADs, models, and mock-ups. How do those help create and innovate and design better by visualization? Then we have steps like intense brainstorming, prototyping. An example for that would be building ideas or physical brainstorming. And then we have evaluate and converge, and then more brainstorming. So you can see thought and visualization and everything are pretty important when it comes to innovating, processing, and designing ideas and how they're going to work and how they're going to be successful exactly. We also talk about unfocused group versus focus group. We talk about foreign correspondence, narration, cultural problems, conceptual landscape, collage, cognitive maps, and camera journal. These are all different kind of things that have an effect on our main topic this week. We also talk about pursuing the right problem. There are a lot of problems that we can solve and innovate in order to solve that problem, but it's very important to find the right problem and therefore the right solution that will help us be successful, because our target audience and our market is pretty important in this line of work. We also talk about understanding a problem as a system. To image the ideal solution first, resolve all the contradictions, and then you ask yourself, what are the inputs? Everything that enters a system, parts, energy, or information. Then you ask yourself, what are the outputs? All learning as a result outcome of functions. But then you must know, what is a process? A process is moving the inputs into outputs. Also very important. We need to know system approach, problem, cause, and effect. We also need to know the system approach in terms of supersystem and system and subsystem. I think that this week was really important because we discovered that ideas are really a long-term goal. Here are my notes for this week. We know that ideas, processing ideas, and innovating and coming up with these creations is kind of a if you do it right, there's a full model, there's a right way of doing it, and doing shortcuts and not doing it correctly with understanding. You're the one creating it. If you don't understand what you're creating, nobody else is going to, and you can't expect them to. So understanding, observing, synthesizing, visualizing, prototyping, evaluating, converging thoughts with other people, seeing what they think, working well with others, and brainstorming to make sure that your idea, how can you make it better? Constantly be thinking about what you can do to make your product better and more helpful. This week was really important because I felt like even at the beginning of the lecture, whenever professor was talking about how people in the class had been not really coming to class or not really doing what he wanted them to, I think it's pretty important to note that what you put into something is what you get out of it. And I think that that's pretty pertinent to this class and also life as well. Like I said earlier, success depends on what you do and how you do it. And so making sure that we stay on top of all the things in this class and make sure we're doing all these, we're processing the principles and tools to create, innovate, and design correctly and accordingly based on the projects that we have, and more importantly, take things away, objectively speaking, that we will use the rest of our lives.